Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream tonight. Just jumping on here. It is our usual Saturday, 6:30 p.m. live stream. I work off Mountain Daylight Time, so it may be in different times in your time zones. What's up, Former? How you doing? So welcome to the channel, everyone. You're on with Jules. And as always, when you are on here, you are one of my treasures. Right now it's just the start. As always, I like to talk about the channel at the beginning and what we talk about on this channel. Usually our live streams are pretty casual. Talk about life in general. I do talk the 5 T's on my channel, which are kind of about my first one being transition, second one being triathlon. I do some teaching on different topics, and I talk about trends, like different clothing I wear, and also trucks. Oh, that's awesome. Is the game starting right now or later on? Okay, so hopefully those yanks do good for you. So if you're just jumping onto the channel, feel free to leave a like and a subscribe on the channel. You can always jump into the chat box. We welcome everybody. We just ask that all talk is kept in a constructive manner. No hate speech toward anybody in our live stream. Remember, if you are new to the channel or a subscriber, you are considered a treasure here. Today, I just went a little on the wild side tonight with my dress. I did this very little, my little faux leather dress. I have matching boots to it. They're just below knee high. Just, haven't done it in a while. And I tried to make my makeup to match. I did some nice big red lips. My usual winged eyeliner and some. Actually, today with my eyeshadow, what I did was I used some colored eyeliner in like a reddish pink, and it does have glitter to it, so thought I'd be go with the outfit a little bit. Just wanted to go a little on the wild side this Saturday live stream. Also, if like I said, you can click like, put a comment, you can, and then jump in the chat box, subscribe to the channel, and there is also a Patreon. Any of the money made on this channel, whether it be on Patreon, at this time we're not monetized here, but 20% automatically goes to the Transgender Resource Center of New Mexico, and just helps them get the help out, those that need assistance, and also they other 80% will just go to upgrade the channel with more, with better equipment to film, better camera. Right now, I'm just going off my laptop camera. So eventually, we want a very good USB camera. We want to make a nice desktop computer off a Chromebox and make a better channel for all of you. Right now, I was just looking at it. November will be 2 years since the channel started. And we are doing great. We are at, as of this morning, 363 subscribers. Our next goal is to make it to 510, hopefully. And at 510, I usually increments of 51, so 510, so it's 51 times 10. I like to do something to get back to my treasures here. I will do a giveaway once we hit those 510, and I will show the item when we're getting close. I know I've shown it on a couple of videos, so we will, hopefully once we hit 510, we can, do that giveaway. Today, it is Saturday night. I was sitting here most of the day. I did do one of my usual weekend things. I like to make barbecue ribs. Also, another thing I did was clean my kitchen, start dusting off my shelves, just clean around the house. Hopefully, and came on here to do the usual live. If no one jumps on here by the half-hour mark, I will usually stop the live stream. But hopefully, some of you will decide to come on here. Not what I'll do is go ahead and make 1 or 2 videos following this live. I do tonight. I'm going to try to make a video showing different. One thing I'm going to do is show some my different styles I like to do as far as how I do my makeup, get dressed, or just different styles I like to do as far as dressing, because mine are very from one extreme to the other. I can do something, I like calling this something on the wild side, and faux leather to just a very nice conservative dress like I did last week. We can, just feel free to jump in here. We talk about styles. Today, also getting closer to Halloween, I will do, I put everything together to make a black canary costume. It will be in full leather like this, and a black bodysuit in full leather. Still need to get some fishnet stockings, and everything else I pretty much have. I think Halloween will be fun. Maybe we can do since it is a Thursday night, I get off work and then I will have the next 11 days off. So maybe I'll do a late night live stream that day. I don't know if many people are going to parties or what, but we can try it out. Do a Halloween live stream. I think it would be fun. And then Tuesday, or not Tuesday, but that Friday, I will be going down and getting some real nice nails done for that time that I do have off. Um, I do plan on spending getting some nice green finger nails and arrowhead style, and I will be off for 11 days from work, so it'll be about a week and a half that I'll be able to have them on. So I think that'll be fun. Um, when you jump on here, feel free, to start in the chat box, give an idea of what we can chat about today. Many topics have come up in the last few days. And like I said, we're good here. We like to talk. We'll talk about anything as long as we keep it constructive. Nothing where we insult each other. I'll be right back. I'm going to turn my fan towards me, getting a little warm here. Welcome to the stream. You're on with Jules. Remember, when you are on here, you are one of my treasures. Hey, Sandy, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. How are you? I'm doing well. Just, starting up this live stream. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. You're on with Jules. Remember, whenever you join me here, you are one of my treasures. Oh, cool. Are you a subscriber to the channel, Sandy? Oh, are you? Oh, thanks for jumping on here. So did she tell you about the stream? Oh, cool. Glad to have you in here, Sandy. She's an excellent member to have in here. She's actually one of my moderators now on here. She does a great job. Oh, cool. Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, she's been since one of my first subscribers that I can really remember from the very beginning. Yeah, I like to keep my chat open, and just as long as people don't insult others, that's where I like to keep it. It's all about being able to chat openly, but not being critical of each other. in a bad way, I should say. So have you been to one of the live streams before, or is this your first time joining in? Sounds like her. She used to hide in the background. Now she's very, very, very much active. In in the past few weeks, like since she's been, she's a moderator and watches for people that start putting, insults or anything in there. She very, very uh, promotes people to like and subscribe and everything. Well, I'll take that as a compliment there, Sandy. Today, I decided to do my little faux leather outfit. It's kind of a short dress, and I have matching red boots with it. Yeah, I just started doing chokers recently. I have like, I think 4 of them. I have this one. It's kind of, I would say, it's like, it's got some beads on it. And then the other day I had one that's just black and it's like a suede fabric, which I got more for my Halloween costume or for like a cosplay costume I did make. And and I will probably wear it on Halloween. I think a late night live stream would be cool. Thank you. The other day I had double hoops because I had 2 piercings, and I actually did them myself. So I can wear 2 sets of hoops. I have these hoops in sterling silver, but in variable sizes. Um, and I also have hoops in like colors of the rainbow, and then they're also in variable sizes. And then I have some that are larger than this, a little thicker, but they're in gold. They're not real gold, but hoops are my favorite. But I do have some dangling earrings too. I have some that are like, I guess, infinity symbols. I didn't realize that that's what they were. And I have some that look like leaves. Are you Generation X? That's awesome. Best generation there is. Um, that means we've lived through 6 decades and 2 millennia, what, 2 centuries. I've had, the funny thing is my first pair of strip pants were actually cycling pants because I lived in San Diego. I grew up in San Diego, And I remember when it would get cooler in the winter, I just went where, and then I was gonna go mountain biking. I needed cycling pants, and little did I realize that they were stirrup pants. Yeah, I remember the jelly sandals, leg warmers, definitely, and the bangles, all those. I'm big on checkerboard. I do have like a little tank, like halter tank top, checkerboard pattern. I love that one. I usually my little tank tops. I try to save them for Tuesdays. I don't know if you've ever watched one of my Tuesday videos. Um, it's kind of giving updates on my transition and how it's going. Um, I'm 8 months into transition now. And I am big into my Vans. I love Vans. Oh, I know. I used to live in Florida, and I started transitioning back there, and I was like, I think, gonna go on my fourth month of transition, and the good old governor over there stopped. Well, he made it really strict rules to continue, and put in an executive order, and I had to stop. Now I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, um, and I started transitioning again. Now it's been 8 months. I am so happy. I mean, I have never felt been like this up here. Um, I know on my channel I've been pretty open, and I say like I haven't come out at work. So at work I still present males, and even when I put on my polo shirts, things are starting to really, really show. So I need to just come out and be able to just um, present my true self. It's like one or two people that know here in Albuquerque, more of my um, coworkers in um, oh, I feel great in my clothes. And this was actually my daughter. One time we were in Las Vegas, and she stated we were going into a store at Caesar's Palace, and she was looking at clothes, and she said made a comment like, "No, I don't understand why they gender clothes." Um, she's all anybody should be able to wear what they please, and and I thought that was a cool comment because it's true. Like right now, even if I put on my yeah, I mean, for example, if I went over to my closet right now, got dressed in my male clothing, it's androgynous. In other words, I can wear it as female. Um, you know, to work, I can wear the same scrubs from before, or usually I do polo shirts with cargo pants, and that's okay. But if I would turn around and wear like female scrubs or whatever, that would grab attention. So it's so funny how women can wear a lot of male clothing, but men can't wear women's clothing without getting said something to. Exactly. Well said, Sandy. I like that analogy. You need to join us here more often. Even when Lena's in here. Tomorrow we do a live stream at 2 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Are you also there in Central Daylight Time near Lena? Yeah. So tomorrow at 3 o'clock your time, I'll be streaming again. Well, yeah. See, mine's out in Florida. She went through Milton just recently. I think her and Lena are close in age. Might. She is going to be 24 next month, my daughter. So, okay. Um, See, Sandy, on um, my live streams, it's really, just chatting with my subs. We can come up with any topic. If you want to ask any questions, feel free. Um, Yesterday we started at one point. We talked about like Halloween costumes that we might do. Um, so then Lena and another one of my subscribers, they started talking about uh, all these different Halloween movies that they like, um, and so we're all throwing stuff about that. Other times I don't know if you like watch my channel, like sometimes if people that are trans here jump on, ask for advice, and this channel is open for everybody. Another thing I've been teaching and is about my exit from the Mormon Church. Um, and I've been doing lessons. I have a series on them from this book. This is like, I call it the rookie manual to the Mormon Church. So when you get baptized in, they put you into a class and teach you that book. And it teaches you the basics. And later on, you start learning all this deep doctrine that you don't realize was around. And then there's a lot of stuff that you never learned that now that I've left, you'll learn about. And it's amazing. Ooh, tell me. Really, Sandy, I've been wanting to do panel discussion with people from different religions that have exited them. And I've had a few people. Um, yeah, see, I was a convert to the Mormon Church. I was um, as a convert. I converted about 30 years ago, probably at age 24, and the the missionaries pulled what they call, and I've mentioned it a couple of times. They have their tactics, and the one they used on me was called the flirt to convert. Um, when I went to this with a friend to the church, um, the elders gave me a Book of Mormon and said, why don't you read this section, and then my friend asked me to go to her house one day and to see if I, know, have dinner and that the missionaries were going to be over. Well, lo and behold, when I showed up, sure enough, two beautiful young ladies were there, and it's a tactic of theirs to use that. Will attract people in with, you know, people of the opposite gender teaching them. But yeah, it was, back then I was obviously not out, but yeah, it's been in the past like 2 3 years. It's been a big deconstruction for me. Recently, I actually found what I call the shelf breaker. Do you ever watch like Cults to Consciousness, or because I know Lena does, or any videos about cults or anything like that? The many Mormon videos I watch, one being Cults of Consciousness, they call it a shelf breaker. So they say, like, you keep putting items on your shelf that you don't like about the church, or that you don't believe, and you start putting them on the shelf, and then eventually it's so heavy that it just breaks. So my shelf breaker was probably, I was already getting ready to write my letter of resignation, but my big one was recently they made this major anti-trans policy, uh, putting, making us as bad as murderers, and and classifying us like in the same class as child molesters, and basically you you know um, you'll get pretty much excommunicated if they find out you are. Um, so, I mean, my resignation is not official yet, but until then, I still run the chance. Either way, it's good for me because I can just um, be excommunicated, or just my letter of resignation go through. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Do you have like a degree in history and mythology or in anthropology? Yeah. My high demand religion slash organization slash cult category or playlist on my videos. I have a category of videos that I do that. Uh, they, um, I'm putting just my own experience, my own spin on it. And eventually I'm going to put them through. Have you ever heard of the bite model of authoritarian control? Eventually I will do my spin of the Mormon church through that model. Yeah, and and I'll tell you, Sandy, it's amazing. Like I look back on it, and I think the first time I went to church, it kind of like it was kind of weird going to the Mormon church for the first time. It was people giving what they call their testimony, kind of like what led them to it and what their belief was that they felt inside. And this was a meeting where people are welcome to go up um, on the pulpit and give their testimony. But it sounded so rehearsed between each person because everyone gave just about the basic same talk, but on giving their spin on it. But then I said, okay, I'm going to go back to another meeting and check it out. And eventually, I guess I got programmed to it to believe everything that was being said. And it's amazing how programmed one can get. Okay, that's cool. I mean, it's amazing how much just having an interest in looking like at mythology and stuff can, can spike an interest in looking at, and you can see the truth. There's one guy on YouTube also that talks about the JWs. Owen, I think it's Owen, is it Owen Wilson? Used to go. See, Sandy, see, these two religions are so alike. It's amazing. We always Sunday, but it was 3 hour block of meetings you would do on Sundays. Monday was supposed to what they call family home evening at your house. You're supposed to save the evening for doing like a church lesson, do some kind of activity, but be with the family all together. Um, and then and then Wednesdays, Tuesday or Wednesday was usually youth activities at the church. Uh, Fridays was date night, so the youth, the young women of the church would volunteer to take care of people's kids, and then people would go on date night, and then and if there was a church activity on Saturdays, and then sometimes, and then right back in on Sundays. So um, there was always something going on, and it is one of the most high demand religions that I've ever seen. Um, yeah, and ours were, and then they, even during the day, they want you to do so much prayer, scripture study, and it's just like everything you do revolves around it. And eventually, I just found it wasn't for me, but for many years, I was programmed to it. I was, doing my hardest to give that 10% tithing. Um, Actually, one of our big things is going. You've probably seen the Mormon Temple before. Um, you want to be able to get one of these. This is actually what's called a temple recommend. So if you pay your tithing, you find they find you worthy and all that, they give you this nice little piece of paper, and you can go to the temple and get your what they call your endowment and get sealed with your spouse for all time and eternity. Um, and and then once you get your endowment, you go do them. That's why the Mormon Church is big into genealogy, because then you go and do the work for members of your family that have passed on. I've heard about that. Ours was, for example, on Saturdays, um, they would have the members come in and like they would separate, like they would try to assign certain weekends, and then like you would have to go and help with the cleaning of the building. Um, and and then if they ever like bought, if they needed to remulch the grounds or something like that, they would, you know, members would volunteer and go. Um, the volunteer, a lot of times the ones that try to get the volunteer most is if the church has aided certain families because they were short on funds. I don't know if you, the Mormon Church is worth about, at this time, close to $300 billion, more than some banks, more than some big tech companies. And that started all because of their, you know, the tithing money that goes in, and they started investing a lot of it. And they own that, like GameStop is actually owned by the Mormon Church, or used to be. They own some banking companies, but and it's just amazing how much money they've accrued over the years, and it's just, you know, before they used to, for example, they would, when I was still in, if you were short on, like say someone in the house lost their income, like usually it's the patriarch, because technically only the men are supposed to be working. It's very patriarchal faith. And if he lost the job, they would actually help pay the necessary bills. So they may pay for the power and the water, but they wouldn't find that having a cell phone is necessary. And your car is an, you know, an optional thing to have too. But if they're helping you with financial assistance, they expect you to come to any activity to uh, help the church. Yeah, see, this is when you're a member, just like that, you said it's from donations of their own. Yeah, when you're a member of the Mormon Church, you are required to give 10% of your income to them. Um, if not, you don't qualify for one of these to go to the temple. That's a big thing for getting your temple recommend. You do an interview for your temple recommend, and if you answer, you know, if you're not following the doctrine, which the law of tithing is a big one, then no attendance to the temple. Oh wow, yeah, over there, that sounds a lot like the Mormon Church. They track how much tithing you've given. Um, at the end of the year, you're required to go to a tithing settlement and sit down with the bishop, and he'll ask you, is this a true tithing? I've had friends. Hello, Manoj. How are you? Yeah, so Sandy, I've had friends that were at their tithing settlement, and when they were asked if this was you know, they're a true tithing. I had a friend write a $4,000 check and give it straight to his bishop. Thank you. Is this your first time in here, Manoj? I have Sandy in here. My name is Jules, and always remember, whenever you join in here, you are a treasure. You too, Sandy. Oh, if it's your first time, Manoj, have you subscribed to the channel? Actually, Manoj, one thing Sandy and I were talking right now, we're talking high demand religion. We've actually both been members of. Go ahead and ask. I'll see if I can answer. If not, I will find you an answer. Yeah, Sandy and I were talking about high demand religions, and you know, we've both been members of different ones, but kind of looking at uh, the differences and similarities. But go ahead, ask whatever question you have. That's what this channel is about, you know, sharing experiences about anything. I'm glad to give advice, or I mean, or even receive some from you guys. So, see, Sandy, how sometimes it'll change from one topic to another. It's fun. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. You're on with Jules. Feel free to jump into the chat box. Um, no, it's been fine. I mean, it was time for me to leave the church. I was in Mormon church, and yeah, it was time to leave. I've been exiting or deconstructing, as they say, about 3-4 years now. Um, yeah, it was hard. Just recently, they came up with a new policy about trans people in the church. They've always been very anti-LGBTQ. That's wonderful you say that, Sandy. I love it. You know, it's fun. If I were to pull out my work ID, I used to have a rainbow lanyard on. In fact, I need to wash it. But my rainbow lanyard, I got it last year on Pride Month. Um, you know, because I work for the Department of Veterans Affairs. And then I also got a little like that goes behind my ID card. It has the newest pride flag, and it does say I am an ally. So that's a little cool thing, you know, I have on my ID behind my nursing ID. And it's cool to find people that are allies and advocates. So you guys just feel free to, you know, we can continue on the topic where we're on. We can just anything. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. You're on with Jules. We have Manoj and Sandy in here. go ahead with your story. Oh, Sandy, I think we think too much alike. I was thinking the same thing. You need to join us in here more often. That's awesome. Are you on Snapchat? Okay, so you started seeing many of these, feeling a lot of these things when you were young. And I'll tell you, Manoj, one bit of advice I would have, do you see like a, have you ever considered seeing like a gender therapist or anything? Because I'm 54 right now, and I started my transition at 51. But when I went and spoke with my therapist, she saw that there were many little things like how you're stating from when I was young. Like, just I remember from once I was potty trained. I remember once I learned how to go number two, that from there on I was always sitting to go to the bathroom, even when I had to urinate. Um, yes, therapy is crucial because when you start talking to them, they will detect the uh, things about gender dysphoria that you may, you know. Um, also one of the things I noticed a lot was when I was a teenager, um, I would go into my mom's bathroom a lot, and when everybody was gone, and I would try on her makeup, and especially the lipstick. Oh, I've always been a big on lipstick, um, and the different reds, and burgundies, and stuff, and eventually, and but I'm Mexican descent, so it's always about being macho type, uh, like you said, alpha male type thing, and um, but eventually the first thing that happened was I felt I was bisexual, um, but I figured out that I wasn't really attracted to men, really, but I felt more the fact that I wanted to continue to dress female, and suddenly started trying a lot of clothing on at home. And my ex-wife had tons of clothing, and I would just, while she would travel for her work, I would just try on some of her stuff, bought some makeup here and there, and some wigs, and just from there it started. and I figured out a new name for myself, and that's when a friend told me, "You're trans." Yes, Sandy, well said. Yes, I am a lesbian woman that was trapped in the wrong body. So I am a transgender lesbian. Wow, that is a lot to say, and it's good that you like to, it's good to share it with people. It's a way of releasing, a lot of the emotion you may have about it. Um, that's a big reason for coming on the channel. One, to listen to people that may have a story that they want to tell. Two, to be able to share my story. Two, see how we, have things in common, differences in it. Um, and it's always good to hear someone's story. It helps me be affirmed, along with trying to help you find some affirmation in your gender. um, Thank you. As you can see, I do have my trans flag here. um, I do call my channel Area 5T1, kind of like Area 51. um, and okay, I do have Elf and Yoda over here. um, and then, yeah, you saw my I live in New Mexico, so I just moved out here 8 months ago or 9 months ago. So I decided the decor would have to be alien themed. I'm big into Star Wars, and Elf used to be one of my favorite characters of the 80s there, Sandy. Um, you could probably see him more, actually, more if I lean this way. I've actually got a true, authentic Elf doll from the 80s or 90s. Um, yes, Sandy, um, gender and sexuality are two different things. Um, uh, yeah, this I've had it since back when the series came out. Actually, I got to meet Paul Fusco, the creator of Elf, at back in the 90s. I used to date a young lady, that was probably 91, and her mom worked for Paul Fusco. And I had a mural of Elf on the airbrush onto the window of my truck back then. And I was almost like the day I met him, I was almost going to take that window out and just give it to him to put it up in his office, and then just have another one airbrushed. Buy another one, put it in my truck, and just get it airbrushed again. Um, and Sandy did say a good point about it, how you identify as gender and sexuality are different. Sex, sexuality is who you like, and gender is who you are inside. And like me, I was born male, but I didn't feel I didn't feel right. And throughout my life, I can look back now and see many things in my life that pointed to the fact that I was trans, because there were a lot of female things I like to do, like trying on women's clothes, trying on makeup, stuff like that. But I didn't come out till I was 51. So that's 3 years ago. Yeah, and then so gender is your identity, while sexuality is who you like. So I obviously identify as a transgender woman, and I like women. So I say I am, since I identify as a transgender woman, I am lesbian. Well, the first thing was, at that time, I for a long time I hadn't been dressing or anything. Like I said, it was a lot in my teens, and then for some reason one day I had this urge to do it again, and I started, and it just started coming. I started feeling great whenever I did it, whenever I put on makeup and women's clothes, and I ordered a wig, and I started realizing that this was true me. And so, like, at first with many trans women, you'll go on their channels and they'll say, at first it started as cross-dressing, but eventually you find something inside you, eventually you find something inside you that tells you this is you, not the person you've been told you were all your life, and that you were raised as. And eventually, when I started my YouTube channel, I think it's going to be 2 years now. I started off, just I did one video in 2022, and I think it's coming up on the 2-year mark. And that was just cross-dressing, and some of the ones in 2023, that's when I definitely had affirmations within me that I was trans. I talked to some friends, and one friend had helped me buy some clothing and makeup and stuff, and I felt fantastic when I started dressing completely, with a wig and everything, and doing my makeup completely, like learning how to do foundation and stuff. But back then it was hard because I was still with my ex, and she wasn't accepting towards the trans community. So even though she was very, very liberal, and then one of the things that really, really I found within me was that I found my new name. So I found, you know what, I don't want to go by what's my dead name now. I want to go, and I picked one name, and it is now my middle name. So if you go back and watch my like first like 5 videos, I go by a different name, and then I found that a lot of people already called me Jules as a nickname. So I felt that that was a great name. It is androgynous, so when some people already called me that, so it's a form of my dead name. So I decided to go with that, and sure enough, once I had a chance, I went to therapy, and I was diagnosed with gender dysphoria. And I was going to wait till I moved out here to Albuquerque before transitioning. But my therapist said, no, you need to start now so you start to feel better about yourself. So I did transition in Florida for a little bit, and it was feeling really good. I was getting some good progress, but then Governor DeSantis blocked clinics from being able to give out hormone replacement therapy. So I moved out here to New Mexico. And it was just something I'd been wanting to do for a long time. Then I looked up kind of like the policies on it, and sure enough, I found that New Mexico is very accepting to the entire LGBTQIA family. I found a great clinic to go to for my HRT. They do a great job. I've been on it for 8 months. Obviously, you can see this is all me. No breastplate. I threw my breastplate away. This is me. Just use a support bra to keep them up. But that's 8 months of spironolactone, estradiol, and finasteride. Well, I am proud of myself, and it took a lot to finally start doing a lot of videos. To do videos here. It took me a lot to learn my makeup. If you go back and look, even at the beginning of 2024, my makeup was, you could tell I was just learning to do it. And now I feel that I've gotten better at it. I was just overdoing it. Like now I've been able to overline my lips like I have them today. They look nice and full, but before I would just exaggerate them and try to go too far with them. Yeah, I do feel good about myself. I am proud. I've been able to grow the channel. Actually, Sandy, his daughter, has been here probably from the very beginning. Sandy just told me that she was subscriber number 100 thanks to her daughter, and I thank their family. Her daughter Lena is great and comes onto the channel regularly. She's in fact one of my moderators on here. So now with hate, the only real hate I've had to deal with was my ex-wife, as I was stating. When she found out I was, wearing women's clothing and trying on makeup and stuff, she tried to make, it was a lot. She went into when she was against my faith. So then I turned around and I left it. And when I was in the Mormon church, and then I come out first about my sexuality, and then she finds out about me being trans and wearing women's clothing, and she just talk about going off. She did too, and then brings it up every once in a while. Still get a call from her because she wants money every once in a while, and she probably makes more than me. So I think she wants dog support from time to time, but it's like that's really the only type of hate. When I moved out here, I had communicated with another trans YouTuber that lives out here in the area. I've actually met her in person. She has a very large channel, and it was great. I went to a party at her house and met a lot of people in the entire LGBTQ community, and it was fantastic. Met people for the first time, no judgment. It was fantastic. You just got to find, the right niche people, and it's wonderful. When you find people that accept you. I've never had any hate comments. I've never been clocked out in public here in Albuquerque. Never. Even sometimes at work, and at work I still present mail, and I have to make phone calls to my patients ahead of time. I'm a nurse, and at the VA, and I have to call the veterans ahead of time of their appointment, tell them that, to remind them of their appointment, to get some data from them. And I've had some of them just call me ma'am on the phone. So it's been, you get that sense of gender euphoria. Sandy, I'm looking at your comment about the election. Yes, I am very nervous about the election myself. And this is a good topic to go into. They always say don't ever talk religion and politics with people, but look at it, we're doing it here and we're doing it nicely. I used to be very hard conservative. I used to be a strong conservative. I was to the point where I helped in the Mitt Romney campaign in his first, and I used to go down to the campaign headquarters, make phone calls for him, stuff like that. Yes, I'm hoping for Kamala too. Kamala is a big, big advocate of the trans community. She's done events where she's had several like a lot of LGBTQ people to the White House and talk to them. Some trans YouTubers have shown that on their channel. So she's a big supporter. The whole Project 2025 thing, I haven't read it, but it has me scared. And I think it's not just LGBTQIA people that are scared. There's a lot of people that are. It just feels like it's going to become an authoritarian government or something. Hopefully the election goes the right way. If I think Kamala is giving a run for her money. Is giving Trump a run for her money. Sandy, if you're good at that, definitely, I would appreciate it. Lena recently sent me some thumbnails to use for the channel, and I love them. She did an awesome job. Um, and I always welcome tips from people on how to do how to do these. Like me, I've gotten better. Like it took me a little bit to figure out how to put the cards on my. If you watch my videos from time to time, I point up to link another video to that video. It took me a little bit to figure that out. At the end screen, how to put videos on there, and so it's one of those people. I always welcome suggestions. Sandy, do you have a Snapchat? Yeah, Manoj, I have one playlist. It's called Jules Journal on Transition Tuesday. So every Tuesday, I do a video showing um, my updates, like week by week. I just went on week 32, so I'm 8 months into transition. So once I hit my year, which will be around February, I'm going to start working on. I'm going to work on starting to gather time to take time off for my. I'm probably going to start off with doing bottom surgery first. I'm going to go for a vaginoplasty. So I got to start talking to my provider. Yeah, you can make one, or I can send you my email too. I don't know if Lena has my email, Sandy, but I can always. Actually, you can find my email on. Okay, Manoj. I first of all, the first time they started transitioning. They just put me. I was already on finasteride because I was on finasteride and doing minoxidil, which is probably seen that as the keeps program or the HIMS, because I do have male pattern baldness, but I just have a big bald spot like this at the top of my head. Now it's down to something about this big. So the first nurse practitioner told me that the finasteride was enough for transitioning along with the estradiol. But when I moved out here to New Mexico, my nurse practitioner here told me no, that you have to have spironolactone. So I take spironolactone, the estradiol, and the finasteride. Spironolactone is a testosterone blocker, along with finasteride being that blocks the testosterone for the male pattern baldness. And then you put on the minoxidil. I'm now using the foam, which I think works better, and it's starting to cover I've just got like a little spot about that big. But the first change I noticed when I started transitioning, your skin, it's going to get softer. And second thing, you will notice, and it took just a couple of weeks, and what I noticed right away was my nipples. Usually they were flat. All of a sudden, they just kind of popped out and would stay just popping out. just stay there. And then all of a sudden that breast area got tender, and it gets tender. When I mean tender, you rub up against something, it hurts. So it does help the male pattern baldness, depending on, it's individualistic. Just like I say as a nurse, everything is an individual, whether it'll completely reverse it or not. So like right now, I'm wearing a wig. Tomorrow you may see me on here and I'll be wearing a blonde wig or black with purple and pink. I even have one with, it's gray with rainbow colors, which is fun. Wigs are fun. I enjoy them. Second thing, I did start seeing the breast growth. So you start seeing them butt out. So what I did on like my Tuesday videos where I show the updates on my transition, I know sometimes they sound repetitive because I'm continue to see the different looks. So what I do is I'll wear tank tops that kind of tighten down, and like this, what you see here, these are my breasts that I've grown in 8 months on hormone replacement therapy right there. I do have a push-up bra, but I mean, other than that, I'm happy with the growth. I mean, even when I'm presenting male at work with my polo shirts, boom, they're sticking out. You can see them. Was it, let's see, Sandy, was it this look? No. Why am I not getting it straight? Now this hat just happened to be sitting here. It's hard getting things on sometimes with the wig. You think bangs would look good? I think my blonde wig, you can do bangs. Sometimes I've done this. I'll do it like this, and just kind of bring it off to the side. And I've done it doing both sides of it. I'll try them. Right now, my own hair comes to about here at the same length all around. Yeah, this hat I bought at work. Like I said, I work for the Department of Veterans Affairs, so they have a little store there, and they sell all kinds of cool gear. And what can get addicting though when you work there is this little card. It's Patriot Store card, and everything gets deducted straight from your paycheck, so you can buy stuff there. I think mine has like $1,000 limit, but it gets directly deducted out of my paycheck before taxes, and also there's no tax charged on it. So you think a late night live stream would be cool where a bunch of us could talk? Would you do that, Sandy? what I am going to do, would you be willing to come on camera and talk? Because I have there's another app I can do my live streams from that would seriously, we could do a panel up to 10 people and talk face to face on the app along with the people on the stream. It's called StreamYard. It's a website, and you just send the link to everybody. Maybe we need to make an extrovert. I used to be very introverted, Sandy. I think now that presenting female, I feel more extroverted now because it's a whole new me. I did my first time I did a live stream on StreamYard. I did it with a StreamYard with a young lady from Britain. Her name is Colaberry. And it was fun. She called me a trans activist, which I feel I am in many ways because I'm here to help people out when they have questions, just like with Manoj here. And yeah, I'm like I'll even if it were to have people. If I had to, I would totally be an advocate for a patient of mine if they were trans, and thank you, Sandy. And I found this like a great way to come out, at least, like the two places I'm not out with my family and I'm not out at work, which I need to work on both of those because obviously, like I said, things are starting to show. I'm going to have to come out of work and then then with my family eventually. It's just that those are the two places I don't know when my mom, I don't know how she would take it, especially in the last few years since I've started coming out. I think the hard part for her was that during the pandemic she lost a lot of people. She lost my dad, she lost her younger sister, and one of her other sisters lost her husband. My dad's best friend, which was her twin sister's husband, died. And then my uncle, that was my mom's twin sister husband, my dad and him were best friends since they were little. So I think to come to her and say, oh, well, now, Mom, I'm transitioning. Now my new name is this. So, my old name is my dead name. So I don't know how she would take it at this time. I think the biggest thing that's gotten her is my dad's death, even though that's been 2 years. I think my daughter will be a little more open to it. Go ahead and say it. We're we're. What do you think a mom would say, being a mom? And especially, we're the same generation, so that's one thing. Our generation, we didn't really know uh, many trans people. Um, ooh, I like that. I like what you're saying there. Very well said. I like that comment there, Sandy. It's probably one of my favorite ones. It's kind of almost like what my daughter said with the who assigned gender to clothing. You know, I actually did a video on that comment. Um, I thought it was great because, like I said, I can wear my male clothing to work, but, or, like here I can wear my male or female clothing, but, to work right now, obviously I can only I couldn't go in this, but, um, and, you know, um, here, luckily I live in a liberal state now, and the vets aren't as, um, they're a little more liberal. Um, Out in Florida, they were all very conservative, and we actually have a question in the chart where we ask them about their sexuality, and some people get irate when you ask it. Yeah, and I've got my tattoos. Well said. Wow, you need to be here more often, Sandy. Both of you, you got great comments. I'm just looking at the channel analytics right now. Um, Usually, while we live stream, we tend to go up in views, and sometimes we'll get new uh, subs then. Um, Sandy's putting out some great points. I was just looking at the channel analytics. It's weird. Like uh, my channel, like it like peaks up on Tuesdays. I'll have like total 300 views for the week, for the 48 hours, and then kind of comes down around here. Um, then the live streams tend to get people in, and then or when, and plus the videos I will do afterwards. Uh, so yeah, it is hard the way they think. Sandy, we were both talking about um, it, I moved here from ultra conservative state to I moved from Florida to here, and what I think here the larger cities are the more liberal ones. Now, for example, New Mexico, what I like about it, it is the entire legislature, state senate, state house, and the governor are all liberal, but yet it's balanced to the point where they are the state can be conservative in certain ways. One thing still probably coming out as my conservative side is I do believe in my Second Amendment rights. Uh, and yes, I own, I have, my, I have a pistol, I have a shotgun, and I even do own an AR-15. Um, and they're legal here. You can even carry it in public if you wanted to. But it's an open carry state like Texas. So, I mean, I wouldn't sit there and walk around with my AR-15, but the other day I went hiking. I do have a video when I went hiking, and sure enough, I did carry my pistol that day because there are bears and uh, cougars up in the mountains here and coyotes. So if I needed something to have on my hip in case, I was in danger. But that's all mine are for. That, okay, Sandy, well said. It shouldn't just be available to anyone. Now, yes, I believe in universal background checks because, for example, Florida, uh, I like my pistol. I purchased it online. There's like an eBay. It's called Gun Broker. It's like eBay, but you do need when they ship that to you, they need to ship it to someone that'll do what they call an FFL check, which they actually fingerprint you and everything, and then you have the 3-day waiting period before they can give it to you. Uh, Now, for example, um, in Florida, if you're gonna buy, like, say, if I went to buy that same pistol from a friend of mine, he could just, I can just give him the money, and then he give me the pistol. And I think that there needs to be some kind of background check from, you know, owner to owner sales. Like they have to go to the police station or somewhere to do it, the transaction. Oh, that's cool, Manoj. Now, Caitlyn Jenner really, like, I think, started putting the trans community on the map, but yet doesn't support it that much. No, actually, Manoj, you should look at Nevada. I believe they are very pro trans. If not, just, I live in New Mexico, which is just about 5 hours away from Nevada, and sure enough, uh, they New Mexico's very, very open to the entire LGBTQIA family. Yeah, I know. You got it right there, Sandy. I remember the first time I kind of heard what was going on, but then someone showed me the picture. I forgot what magazine she came out in first, um, and they showed me the picture on the cover, and they're all, look, it's they said it's Bruce Jenner, and I'm like, oh wow, because she looked fabulous on that magazine cover, but Caitlyn did, and no, she came out, and it was on the news and stuff. But when she finally started presenting trans, they put her on the cover of a magazine. I think, I don't know which magazine it was, and someone at my work had it, and they're all, and they had me look at the cover, and I'm like, oh wow, and they're like, oh, that's true. She was going to be in the public eye no matter what. Any of us are. I mean, um, I get what you're saying, Sandy. You've been putting some great points across. Yeah, visibility is important, and like me, I obviously with my neighbors are obviously aware, because if I will, first of all, my neighbor across the street, she has a Ring camera. I'm sure she notices it in it. Um, and I'm not really friends with any of my neighbors, but yeah, I'll walk out, get in my car, and go. Um, and just they, and I'm sure, like I said, they note these things, and but I have never had an issue with it. I think where I could have done better myself was, yes, like I was going to call you Lena, but that's your dog. Sandy, they should be more. She should be more supportive to trans rights. Yeah, and you know, I went, like I said, I met another trans YouTuber, and I met her in person. I went to a party at her place, and it was fantastic. And actually, we were hanging out by the pool, and like the managers of her complex came to say something to us, and as they came, I think she knew I was trans, but all she said to me, "Oh, you know, your makeup looks wonderful. It looks fantastic." And, you know, and all of us that were out there were part of the LGBTQI community, um, and even her and her assistant, I think, were too. So. Yeah, that was very nice. I felt so empowered. So it was a lot of affirmation I received. I loved it. I thought it was, you know, it was like one of the first times, you know, someone complimenting it. Um, no, I've never seen it. I'm gonna have to check it out. Is it on a specific platform? Let's figure this out. So yeah, it's available on the platforms I see it available on. One of them is Tubi. I can always I can always load that up to my phone and stream it via my Chromecast to the TV. Yeah, I like to I like to binge watch shows too, Sandy. I recently one that I love to binge watch, and I think I've done it 3, 4 times, is Scrubs, because I will tell you the truth, working in the medical field, having worked at the ER for 13 years and in primary care, the most realistic TV show about medical professionals I have ever watched is Scrubs. So I love watching that show. My niece and her husband, are big fans of it too. That when they got married, I brought them gifts one time, and I said, I remember coming to, and I had my backpack. I like NCIS and CSI, the original. Bones I never really got into. No, Grey's Anatomy and all those um, go too far. But I don't know. But Scrubs just has more of a Scrubs is more of more true realistic because like Grey's Anatomy I know has its romances and stuff, but the romances in Scrubs they're off and on, and you see people get married. It's funny, and you see how things actually. I think that is the most realistic, um, you know, medical TV show there is, and it's a comedy, and that is like when I was in ER, we were comics. I used to work night shift. In the middle of the night, when we would empty it out, we would have wheelchair races around the helicopter pad. We would play football out there. We would do so much stuff. Tick bites um, can cause Lyme disease, and the second thing since if the tick gets you the right way, can actually cause uh, paralysis. So, and then when they take the tick out, boom, movement is back. And then the big thing about, and not to put myself on a high horse here, Manoj, but doctors are taught to diagnose and treat an issue, their diagnosis, but nurses were taught to treat the whole person. In other words, look at the holistic issue with a person. In other words, we're taught to, yes, look at your physical problems, look at um, is there any spiritual needs you have, what physiological or physical needs you have, any men, look at your mental needs that you may have. Do you need to talk to a social worker or a counselor or anything like that? Do you need, are you of any specific faith or just any type of um, spiritual need that you'll have? That's what nursing is about. It's about being holistic as opposed to just focusing on a diagnosis. I was a competitive swimmer myself too. Now I'm a triathlete. Yeah, that's one of the 5 T's. My channel, we talk. I I don't know if you've heard the beginning of most all my videos. I like saying that I call my channel Area 5T1, kind of like Area 51. But I talk about the 5 T's on my channel. I talk about obviously about transition. I talk about triathlon. I talk about uh, trends, like the different clothing I like to wear. And I talk about teaching, which is like teaching about the high demand religion I was in. And I talk about trucks. I just recently bought a Nissan Xterra, and I'm going to be tricking that out. I am pretty much, one, I was a long distance swimmer, and two, my coach used to stick me into any stroke possible. I would do the IM, and I would do every stroke. Manoj, if you do move to Nevada, I'm always up for meeting my treasures, my subscribers. Um, One thing we were talking, in fact, last night on my stream, was maybe one day trying to do like a gathering of people from the channel. Yes, it should be in there. It's going to be under my, I believe it's under my the first name. Yeah, it's going to be with the first name I used. It'll be under you will look in my about section, and then what you'll do is look in there, and it'll say Tristana Del Sol at Gmail. But that's actually the first new name I was going to use, but then I went with Jules. But Tristana will be my middle name. Yeah, I know. So I think what I'm going to do is just Jewel will be the nickname, because I've always, it almost gives away what my dead name was. I don't know if I may use that officially when I get my driver's license and birth certificate and all that done, or I may do like the actual extended version of it that I'm thinking. Yeah, I've really found that a lot of people are starting to use that with me, so I think I'm going to go with that, and Tristana being the middle name. Now, last name, I'm not going to give away online, and but the Del Sol is not my true last name. Okay, I will check it out. Wow, this has been a great stream. I know it's only been all three of us, but sometimes I find it that these small streams, I find that my channel we get just a few people, but but I like it when we have just a few people in here. We can really get and talking, and get some good topics going. Let's see, we're at the 2-hour mark. Yes, that's it, Manoj. Nice and intimate. I think I had one time when I don't know. I had asked if I had hit go live, or I had opened the stream and I hit go live, and I had like tons of people in here, but then there was a bunch of people that were like gaming or something, and then they were like, then they started being really rude on there. So I had to start blocking people one at a time. Finally, I just got people that were, here for the actual, you know, channel content. I got down to that. But when people start spreading hate on here, it's horrible. So what I think I'll do from here, I do want to do a video post tonight. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start closing off the live stream tonight. Sandy, it was great having you here and speaking to you. Most of the time it's Lena, but you feel free to jump in all the time. So both of you can be on here one day. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, and we can just continue, do a Sunday live stream. One of the things, I don't know, this might be the first times, I like to always end by saying that please, if you are transitioning, get care from a medical professional. Don't just, if a friend has, their HRT pills and says, here, do you want some of mine? Don't take it from them. You do need to be monitored by some kind of medical practitioner. And you do need to be getting your blood levels drawn from time to time so they can know how to manage it, whether you need more or less, because there's many side effects that can be caused by hormone replacement therapy. So please be safe when you are getting your HRT. I would suggest also to go to a gender therapist first, because many insurances, if you have insurance that covers your HRT, will require you to go to a therapist. Plus, it's always a good idea, to figure out, where you're at. Other things I like to always recommend is, remember, the 988 line here in the United States is available everywhere. It is a crisis line. If you feel you just need to talk to someone, you're feeling down, depressed, or hopeless, sad, confused, or angry, worried about your safety, the safety of someone else. If you are a veteran or service member, you can call 988, dial 1, and it will get you to someone specializing in veterans and service members. Or worried about alcohol or drug abuse, please do use the 988 line. It is a nationwide initiative here in the United States. It's a great thing. Social workers at my work told me about it, and I think it's great for if anybody wants to use it. I encourage all my treasures to, just when they're feeling down, call it. I just have to say, it's been a great night tonight. New people on here, great people to meet. As always, have a good night. Just remember, I'm Jules. When you join me here, you are one of my treasures. And have a great night. Hopefully see you tomorrow's live stream, 2 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Good night.